It's all in me.
I can read your thoughts right now. Everyone from A to Z.
Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom.
When Poundcake channeling his inner Whitney there, and, you know, he's far too humble to toot his own horn, but it's a huge get for him and, frankly, the show that version of I'm Every Woman is going to be, that's over the end credits of the new Whitney Houston biopic. Very, very exciting.
I'm taking like as many friends as I can. I'm going to pay. Yeah.
It's called I Want to Dance with Somebody, the Whitney Houston biopic. She died 10 years ago. She was 48. There's no way to know how old she'd be now. It will open December the 21st. It's mere days away. And they're giving it 3,000 theaters. There's no streaming, so you'll have to pay and sit and watch it. And they say that it's no whitewash, that it does the warts and all. Who's the girl playing her?
Don't know. I've never seen her in anything before.
Oh, Stanley Tucci plays Clive Davis. Man, I would watch that guy read a Thai restaurant menu. I love Stanley Tucci. He's in this dynamite show called Inside Man right now. So anyway, Clive Davis is the big record mogul who signed Whitney Houston. I think Arista Records is who we work for.
Mm-hmm.
And Stanley Tucci is going to play him. Who play Naomi Aki plays Whitney Houston.
I think they could have. I gotta wait to see the movie.
Well, what else is she in? She's from Doctor Who. She was in a show called The End of the Effing World. I didn't watch that. She's British. How do you feel? You know, a lot of people complain about Brits doing American accents in films. I think there's probably far fewer Americans doing British accents than the other way around. How do you feel about a British woman playing Whitney Houston? Did you not care?
I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know. I don't care where they're from, but if they look enough like her and has her likeness, like her mannerisms and just her spirit about
her mannerisms,
mannerisms, whatever it is. What is it?
It's mannerisms.
Mannerisms.
She was in Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. Had a bit part in that.
Just from the trailers that I've watched like over a dozen times, I just wish they could have got someone that looked a little more like her. But if she has Whitney spirit, if she channels Whitney spirit in the movie, I will forgive it. But I think I'm too attached to the artist that no matter who plays her, I'm going to be like, it's not good enough.
Well, plus she's going to be lip syncing the whole movie. It's not like, you know, how like Val Kilmer learned to sing for the Doors, and some other people along the way will learn, you know, Jamie Foxx famously sang most of Ray. But this girl's going to be...
River,
isn't that true?
Yeah,
River,
he did.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix, he did Walk the Line.
Yeah, playing Johnny Cash. This woman
Those are some hard notes to hit. Those are some hard note to hit.
This woman is going to be lip syncing Whitney Houston. Cassie Lemons is the director who a lot of people might know the name. She was an actress way back in the day. I think she was on The Cosby Show when she was a teen. She was on A Different World. She was, before she transitioned into directing, I don't know if she acts anymore, but she was Jodie Foster's roommate in The Silence of the Lambs 30 years ago. So anyway, the Whitney Houston film is going to be in theaters on December 21.
Gonna go.
Speaking of streaming, it's only in theaters, not streaming. I was reading about a guy who started a true crime streaming service that's based here in Cleveland. It's called True Blue. You read anything about this?
Yeah, my buddy works there.
Really?
Yeah. So
this is something with Chris Hansen, is what they say.
Yeah, my buddy
control my horny level.
Working on a show there that is like the true crime show, but then they're also doing like a To Catch a Predator type show too. And it's
Chris Hansen? I mean, does he?
He's been in Cleveland a ton.
Right. But what I'm saying is the only property he's got to hang his hat on is To Catch a Predator? Like everything this guy does, because he famously was writing bad checks and he really got blown up. He was banging some anchor in Florida, whatever. So Chris Hansen has had his share of issues, but everything he has to be associated with has to do with To Catch a Predator, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Like he doesn't have a line of like lasagna dishes. Okay.
That's his cash
Still?
cow. because it's what he's known for.
Yeah.
I mean, he's iconic for the whole like have a seat thing. Like that was everybody knows about that.
God, imagine that's the corner you've painted yourself into. My whole livelihood depends on pederasts.
I can't control my horny level.
So anyway, right here in Cleveland, True Blue is a streaming service that's all true crime programming. A factual streaming network is what they call it.
Yeah, I have a couple friends that are working for them.
Well, they have a lot of subscribers so far. $5 a month. So there you go.
It's compelling television. I mean, any way you slice it, when you see those
People love true
people
crime, boy.
get pulled in, and they go, and they're doing
Love
stuff
true
that's
crime.
real,
How many times did he stab her?
yeah, real recent stuff too.
Was she laying in a pile of blood? Or a puddle of blood, not pile.
A pile of blood. Is there a
In
blood
a pile of blood.
Well, if it was, hard.
Some nice hard blood.
Well, it was dried.
Pile, yeah. She was very dehydrated.
Yeah. A lot of people asking me if Alan, have you talked about DJ tWitch? No, I didn't. That's a wild story, boy. Stephen Boss is this guy. He's 40 years old. He was DJ tWitch on the Ellen DeGeneres show. She's had a lot of DJs over the years. My buddy Ted Stryker, who's been on the radio in L.A. for many, many years, was her DJ for one season in the early aughts. And they had a bunch of people after him and a couple before him. This DJ tWitch ended up being one of the executive producers of the Ellen DeGeneres show. So he was done with that, obviously, when that show went off the air. All those people lost their jobs. And he had just celebrated his 9th anniversary with his wife. She said they were talking about having another kid. And he shot himself in a motel room near his house. Killed himself at the Oak Tree Inn, 15 minutes from his house. A 15-minute walk. So in L.A., a 9-hour drive. So obviously you're hard-pressed to find any rhyme or reason when somebody kills themselves. But it's a wild story. So who knows if it had to do with, you never know what's going on in somebody's life. He used his own name to check in. They didn't discover him until Tuesday morning when he didn't check out. I always think of the people who work housekeeping. You walk in and you go, I quit. I'm out. Obviously, you do this because you don't want to do it at your house. He shot himself in the head. They said that nobody heard the gunshot, but motel workers described the scene as pretty bad. Yeah. Guy shoots himself in the head. It's probably going to be pretty bad. They had just celebrated their wedding anniversary this past weekend. He walked from his house, so his car was still there. And when he didn't come back, his wife called the cops. And the manager of the motel said he went into his room and never came out. I guess he did it in the bathroom. I don't know if he's in the tub or what.
Man.
Wild. I mean, you don't know what's going on. Wife's hot. Hot wife. I mean, that should count for something. A hot wife?
It should.
A hot wife should count for something. They had a blended family. I think he had a couple older kids, but
Dude, it makes me sad, man. Like, just, you never know what people are going through. People who look happy on the outside have, like, a wonderful life. You never truly freaking know. And that's why, like, I'm open about, like, my anxiety and, like, my struggles and stuff because...
Well, stop that.
No, I would rather people...
We want to know. We don't want to know what you're going through anymore. We've had enough. You've been open enough. We got it.
I was keeping it all inside.
I never
It
thought there was
coming
such a
out
thing as too much candor, but you proved me wrong. Listen, Ellen's had a year too, boy. That show's over. Anne Heche was her partner for a long time, and she died after crashing into that house. She was all coked up.
But I don't...
And then this guy?
Yeah, but I don't want to... Oh, I thought you were comparing the two lives. I was like, this guy...
No. Just saying, like, Anne Heche now dies driving through a house. I mean, you know, she and Ellen were together a long time. And when Anne Heche was pretending to be gay. And now this guy. Woof.
Living is really hard. The easy thing to do is to I'm just saying the easy thing to do is to do something like that. Living is the hardest thing to do. And
I mean, Tom Petty thought that the waiting was the hardest part.
No.
Oh.
I heard this. I talked to my friend who, was in the military. He's like, man, I see it all the time. He's like, all my friends just off themselves. And he's like, the hardest part.
Yeah, but those are people who have seen some shrimp. They weren't a DJ on a TV show.
Yeah, but you
So,
don't.
I mean, no, you're right. You're correct. I'm just saying that, like, military suicides, that exists in a whole other universe. That's a whole other thing.
But again,
But I would rather
we
take-
don't
That's
know.
like an epidemic.
But we don't know what he was going through that put him to that place. Because I mean, even if he wasn't,
Yeah, I
he
know.
could be suffering from PTSD.
It
and
was
things
just like that beauty queen that jumped off her balcony and fell.
Yeah.
Like on the surface, these beautiful people that everyone envies, and you look at that, I'm like, what would drive them to the point of suicide? Like,
Which is why I
you
say
couldn't say anything.
it's better to feel good
Better to look good than to feel
Nope,
good.
These are all, he's given examples of all these hot people committing suicide. But if they felt better, they wouldn't worry about how they looked. They'd just be happy.
All right. Well, I don't know if he was worried about how
Gotcha on that one.
Who, me? I'm not changing my mind.
That's a compelling case.
You can have your opinion. I believe it's better to look good than to feel good.
No, feeling good is the most important thing.
You feel good when you look good.
Sometimes, but that's not.
Always.
No,
If you don't feel good, it
not.
means you don't look good enough.
That is not the case. Obviously, with the people that Poundcake was just talking about, with DJ Twitch and the beauty queen, they looked great.
They didn't look good enough.
They didn't look.
Should have worked harder.
They look great. They didn't feel good. Feel good first.
Alan, my uncle unexpectedly blew his head off with a 12-gauge shotgun. His wife found him, and she's never been quite right after that. Yeah, no, listen,
that's
I told the story early on about how my college girlfriend hanged herself. And, yeah, you don't ever get your head around that. And obviously it's a matter of degree based on how violent the suicide was. But you still don't get your head around it. Shotgun, that's, when you have the opportunity to just swallow a bunch of pills and you do it violently, I guess there are people who are thinking, well, I want to make sure I do this. I don't want to wake up or have somebody find me and pump my stomach. And
But then they also have errors where sometimes they'll try and use a gun or something and they just blow off part of their face. It's just,
or it bounces off the roof of their mouth or some weird thing.
Yeah.
The last thing you want to do is you didn't want to live anymore and now you're living an even worse life than you were before. People got to take care of you or whatever. So
what's the 3-digit number now for the suicide hotline?
I thought it was 611. I don't know. I'm looking at the National Suicide Prevention Line, which is 800-273-8255. But you're right. I think there is a 3-digit number now. Hey, Susie.
Hi.
Hi.
So I'm in my car in shock. I feel
988.
horrible. Hello?
Yes.
Oh, Twitch is an amazing dancer. He was on that show, So You Think You Can Dance. He was actually a judge.
I saw that.
Against choreographer. I mean, and just a beautiful wife and child, and they always seem so happy. It's just devastating.
Yeah, I mean, what you see is not what you get, I guess. Yeah, I mean, people were talking about how, and again, he had, I think, just turned 40 or something, but yeah, a very, very accomplished guy in his field.
Yeah, and adorable videos with his wife online. You can watch a bunch of them dancing together and with their baby. It's just heart-wrenching.
Do you have kids, Susie?
I do. I've got a beautiful daughter who's in college and a son in high school. And, you hear these stories and it breaks your heart. You just hope to God that you're supporting and, giving them all the love they need and kind of watching out for those signs. Because you just, like you said, you never know. They seem happy and something like this happens.
What about your parents?
And by the way, we'll be the judge if your daughter is beautiful, all right? You are inherently biased. You can't accurately decide. All right.
Oh, my goodness. She is. I've been told by many people. My parents are deceased, actually. I had elder, my parents were 40 when they had me. So,
you had old parents.
Yeah. Anyway,
I was
get a
just
call
I was
and
just
like, oh
curious
my gosh.
because I didn't know if like maybe you had like your dad was still around because Alan's mom's single now. So
Shut up, Bill. You son of a bitch. Where does your daughter go to
When
school?
did this became the dating game?
Yeah.
She's at the Ohio State University.
Oh, so she's beautiful, just not bright. Okay, listen, I think that it's a beautiful,
Hey, she
beautiful
doesn't play
situation.
football. Come on now.
All right. Okay, thank you, Susie.
yeah, neither do they.
Hey-o. All right.
Susie's
God.
laughing.
Thank
the
you.
best.
Susie is, I'm going to call you Suze from now on. All right. Susie.
Susie's a good laugher.
She's loving life. Well, sure, she's an empty nester. Oh, she got a
No,
kid in
it's
high school.
in
His
high
son's in
school,
high school.
yeah.
Well, he's almost.
Yeah.
Right?
She's got that hot daughter in college. Her words, not ours.
Yeah, you send me a photo. I'll be the judge. Okay, let me take a break. We'll come back, wrap everything up. I want to get the last word in. Send me a text, 35192, and we'll be back.
It's the Alan Cox Show.
On our free iHeartRadio app and your favorite smart device. Just tell